la la.
He'll have to sit and watch them all, and I'll monitor his mind.
La la la.
Now keep in mind, Mike can't control where the movies begin or end.
La la la.
He'll try to keep his sanity with the help of his robot friends.
Asshole roll call. Giulian.
Jordan.
Prada.
Eugene.
How he eats and breathes and other science facts.
La la la. Got your ass.
It's just a show. I should really just relax.
It's time for Morrison Science Theater 3000. Do you really think it's appropriate to do this literally when they're about to get married?
Maybe Morrison should have watched it the first time. What do you care, movie? You're not my real dad.
Ooh, a PhD. This is gonna be scientific.
PhD's nuts. Got him.
Ah, necking in grayscale. My favorite 1950s porno.
Sí, sí. Más, por favor.
Going downtown, sir.
Oh, Larry, you bit me.
You taste like my stepdad.
Good night, darling.
Good night, Frau Blucher.
Isn't it exciting about our getting married?
Nope.
So excited I won't even acknowledge the question.
Well, I definitely didn't get that ass. That's right, brother.
I've made a huge mistake.
Wait, what was her name again? I'll figure it out later.
Don't give a fuck.
Walking on a pink cloud. So I asked her last night at her graduation prom, and she said yes. We're going to be married in August.
Wow, married? But she's just finishing high school, and you still have 2 years at the university. That's a tough road, Larry. What are you going to use for money?
Well,
I will barter legal
Sue's
tender
folks
and
are gonna
coinage
pay
for
something
goods
to
and
put her in junior
services.
college here in town for 2 years. So we'll have that. But instead of going to college, she'll get a full-time job in campus town.
Making sculpture she'll never
She doesn't
sell.
care anymore about education. So with that, and my part-time job, well, we'll get by.
You know, living the dream.
Uh-oh. Here's Sue now. You two probably want to be alone.
What with all that premarital tomfoolery you've been partaking in?
Sue, honey.
Oh, Larry.
Well, what's the matter?
Do you see what
It's
happens,
the
Larry?
folks' sake. We had a terrible scene. I couldn't sleep a wink. They don't approve. They say I'm too young. They want me to finish 2 more years of schooling before I even get engaged.
The nerve.
Oh, Larry.
She already has 2 black eyes.
Sweetheart. They can't stop me.
I'm a white man.
Relax. And act normal till after your graduation next week. Then I can borrow Phil's car. Down to Greenville. There's a justice of the peace down there. We'll elope, honey.
But Larry, I wanted a church wedding. And all the parties and showers for me, too. And my folks. That would break Mom's heart.
Well, we're the ones that are getting married, not your folks.
Bitch.
I don't
It
know,
is
Larry.
decided.
I read somewhere that a marriage without parents' approval has 2 strikes on it from the start.
And the 3rd strike will be my backhand.
But if eloping's the only way,
No,
Damn it.
maybe it isn't. Maybe you could convince your folks that you should get married.
but how, Larry? How?
Threaten to marry a Chinaman. I'll put bolts in my neck.
I'll bet we could get some advice from the marriage counselor over at the church. His name is Hall. Phil told me about him. He teaches a course in marriage and family living at the college.
Do you think he could help me with my folks?
Well, it's worth a try, isn't it?
Come on, babe. I'll show you where we dick slap the new pledges.
My folks don't understand the way I feel. So that's the story, Mr. Hall. Do you think you can help us get married?
Pause for human emotion.
Why, I'm in favor of marriage. In fact, I spend a good deal of my time helping people to get ready for marriage.
Is that what a marriage
Now, let's see,
counselor
you've
does?
known each other for...
3 months, 1 week, 2 days, and 17 hours.
I didn't say seconds just to sound natural.
And you're 18, Sue?
Yeah.
And 19, Larry?
Yeah.
Have either of you ever been in love before?
Well,
No.
but not like this. This is the real thing.
Yes.
It came in my butt.
I had a chum in college who had the real thing with 8 successive girls.
They call it
It's all right
chlamydia.
if you have it, fine. It's a very important factor in building a happy marriage.
Until it begins oozing.
Tell me, how do you know it's real love? The kind you can get married on?
Why, ever since I first met Larry, I haven't wanted to date anyone else. The whole 3 months now.
3 whole
And
months.
besides, I haven't even had one quarrel with him.
No quarrels. Why not? No differences of opinion? Or no opinions?
His backhand always keeps me
What do you
agreeable.
talk about on your dates?
Movies and popular songs.
Boys and video
Orchestra.
games and claymation.
And
Larry's chosen profession, engineering?
no, I don't understand any of it.
That's too high above
I
my
don't like
glass
to hear
ceiling.
about it.
Why, Sue, honey, I didn't know you felt that way.
Math is hard.
Well, it seems you two may have some things to talk over and settle. Might well ask yourself some questions before you get too serious about marriage.
Like, who's gonna wear the big collars in this household?
What do you mean?
What sort of questions?
Well, questions for Cupid. You might say he should ask them before he fires those
Always
arrows.
consult a metaphor before big life
We
decisions.
call this Cupid's checklist.
Is that like the Cupid shuffle?
First, do you have similar backgrounds, similar bases for your ideals and standards?
Did you come from a racially pure family?
Second, are you real friends? Comrades.
Comrade.
Through thick and thin.
Will you help me bury Mr. Hall's body?
Third, do you both understand marriage?
It's a mirage.
Oh, not the kind in most movies or in most popular songs, but the real everyday kind of marriage between real people.
The one divorce lawyers talk
You
about.
understand it?
Well, golly, Mr. Hall, I don't know the answers to all those questions. I just know that I'm in love with Sue. Is that
Gee
bad?
willikers.
No, that's good.
Like, pipe down, dear.
And it's good when you recognize that you don't know the answers. It's a good sign.
I don't know.
Much of anything.
I think we're friends.
With benefits.
And maybe we can understand marriage, but backgrounds. How do they affect getting married?
Compound words are hard.
Well, come over here a minute. Perhaps I can show you what I mean.
What's that?
My marriage
I call it a
counseling
marriage
pinball machine.
development board. It represents the psychological distance between a husband and a wife from the time they are born until they die.
Precisely the age of 80.
But what does it all mean?
Well, let's set it up for you and Sue. When you are born, you inherit a great many differences
Show
from
me
your
where on the
parents.
doll the man
That's
touched you.
part of your background.
That makes sense, all right.
Now, as you grow up, you each develop separate and unique personalities. Your mental growth, your emotional outlook,
Your love for playing with dolls on strings.
your standards and ideals. Larry, your distinctly masculine outlook on life, and Sue, your feminine way of looking at things.
Your demonic
capacities
chihuahua.
to love and be loved. In these and many other ways, you each acquire a background. So that when you first met, you were probably farther apart. Probably more distinct individuals than when you were born.
But I don't want to marry a girl like me. I want to marry a man like me.
Men are talking, dear.
Well, even though we're close together here, we don't know how far apart we are there.
That's right. When you two met, there was probably an early physical reaction.
A
A
boner.
romantic attraction that pulled you together. A love appeal that hit you sort of boing.
I think you mean
Hit
boy.
you. Well, it happens. It happens to some degree to most couples who become happily married. But it takes more than this boing. For you see, if you're too far apart psychologically, if your backgrounds are not similar enough, it can cause a great deal of argument and unhappiness until...
It's gone.
Where'd it go?
That's what you'll be saying about your romantic love if these other things cause a breakup.
No, sir. This is forever with Larry and me.
Fine, I hope so. But don't you think it's wise to take time to find out how much strain these differences might put on your romantic love?
But there isn't any time. Larry's going away in a couple of months.
Yes. Did you two ever see these figures on length of engagement? how it relates to chances for happiness.
I think you mean length of something else, Doctor.
2 separate studies showed the chance for happiness improves with a longer engagement period.
X-axis is in
Fair
inches.
for 6 months. Better for a year or 2 years.
Science.
Is that because there's a better chance to find out some of these differences and become real friends?
Yes, a chance to find out if your relationship will wear well.
Yes, but can't we settle these differences after we're married?
But I want my wedding
If you
now.
aren't successful,
Oh, shucks.
before you become too deeply involved, find out if the distance might turn out to be too great.
Explain slow.
Here's another angle that should interest you both. How age when married affects the chance for happiness.
A lot of
You can
onboard
see that the
attachments.
chances are better after the man reaches 21
Like
or
a
so.
Dyson vacuum cleaner.
Men after 35 don't get married at all. And another one.
The same study showed that the woman must be 19 or 20 before the chances for happiness begin to be good.
But why?
Because men are only
What's
happy
the
when they can
difference
drink.
between 19 and 21 or so?
Differences in you the next few years. You, Larry, and you, Sue.
Oh, glad he
Young people
specified. I
seem to
wasn't sure he was
change
up.
and mature in these years, from 18 to 21 or even later.
Way later.
So that a person you might marry at 18 or so will seem like quite a different person to you a few years later.
Gee, hon. Doesn't take an engineer to see that we're on the bad part of the curve of these graphs.
He's dumbed it down sufficiently for you, sweetie.
All of them.
Yeah. I see our chances aren't so good now.
Thanks to science.
What are we going to do?
Lamenting Larry.
I thought you were going to help us get married.
Loser Larry.
Not with that attitude and them little titties.
Shut up.
But that ass, though.
I believe I can. I think you two have a lot of what it takes to build a successful marriage. And yet, you wouldn't try to plan and build a house in 3 months, would you?
Well, I might.
Shouldn't a marriage have better planning?
Put this over here.
Oh, yeah.
If you two are going to build a successful family team that will last for
That's definitely a good spot.
40 or 50 years,
I got a peanut. Wow.
how long do you think it should take to get ready for it?
Not more math.
All right. How do we know when we've done it?
Science.
When the two of you are ready for marriage, you'll sense a new feeling between you.
Utter contempt.
Two of you united as a pair, thinking as one unit, acting as one unit in the building of a marriage and a new family. Your sense of pairedness shows up in the way in which you consider what's best for the pair of you over what you want individually for yourself.
So I'll tell her what to
Think
cook
how
for the both
often
of
you
us.
speak of things from my point of view instead of ours. How often you say, I want, instead of we want.
Wasn't me.
I guess it wasn't my folks that needed convincing, it's me. I mean, it's us, isn't it, Larry?
Yeah, we'll say.
We'll say.
And so, in terms of the checklist for Cupid, Larry and Sue began to examine their readiness for marriage.
Do we have similar backgrounds? Do we agree on our religious beliefs? And have the same feelings about religion in general? Do we have the same ideals
Religiously.
and standards and tastes?
Can we both agree the Holocaust was a hoax?
Do we enjoy the same
This was
friends?
not rehearsed.
Do we share the same
Organic.
interests?
What an unplanned week. Do we all enjoy this garden party from Get Out?
And what about Sue and me?
Our Facebook friends?
Are we real friends? Do we have a real happiness in being together? Talking? Or just doing nothing together? Does each of us really want to make the other one happy?
Will she dress up for Comic-Con every year?
Do we have a real interest in each other?
My man. Yo, what up, fam? This is my girl Sue. She my real friend with similar backgrounds and shit.
Oh, shit!
Do we know each other's peculiarities?
Will she fart mid-coitus?
Do we both have a spirit of give and take? Can we quarrel and come out of it with something better than before?
Do we really understand marriage? Do we understand the social aspects of marriage?
Oh, it says right here you
Have we
overcooked
an
the roast.
understanding about money matters and how important it is to have enough money to do more than just get by?
Like immigrants.
Hey, Larry.
Do we
over
understand
here.
the physical aspect?
Look at that. She did
and
overcook the
family
roast.
side of marriage? Do we know how much work there is to a marriage?
And overall, do we have a feeling of paired unity?
Unity!
That was cold-blooded.
Those questions were helping us to find out just how strong our relationship was and helping us to strengthen it. So the next time we called on Mr. Hall, we realized how much he had been helping us.
I'm so close.
He had been talking for some time with our parents, and there seemed to be general agreement that Sue and I now had a much better idea of just how much psychological distance still separated us.
More like
If
psychological
you want
girth.
to, Sue, your mother and I,
Mother
we
Eleanor
can make
Roosevelt.
arrangements for you to begin school at State U this fall with Larry.
State
instead
U?
of the junior college.
If we want to.
I am gonna
Then,
plow
if
you
you
so
two get
gross.
In school, that is.
Thanks, Dad. Real subtle.
If you continue to reduce the psychological distance,
And the glare on my head.
then perhaps at Christmas vacation or at Easter vacation, we'll be glad to announce the engagement.
And then we can be married when Larry graduates in 2 years. I mean, 1 year and 10 months and 3 days.
I didn't say seconds just
Yes.
to still sound
If the
natural.
engagement period gives you two the opportunity to work things out together, if you both still want it.
And if you can
I guess
outrun
you
mine
might
12
say-
gauge, Larry, yeah?
We're engaged to be engaged.
That's actually pretty engaging if you think
Mr.
about it.
Hall, we both want to thank you. And say,
Duh.
now do you think we have anything more than boing?
Why, yes, I think you've made a good start towards getting ready for marriage.
There'll be plenty of boing at the bachelor party, if you know what I mean. Am I right, Mr. Hall, huh? So there you have it, Brandon and Babs. Tie some dental floss to your Lego pieces and see if you can maintain the boing.